the weather is cold. How are you guys doing today? Okay, guys, we're gonna do something really quick. So I'm gonna demonstrate whatever I'm going to be working on here, right? I'm gonna be using this small piece, but you need to follow it up to do the on your own size, right? So everything I'll be mentioning, you just have to go ahead and follow it up. So I've just drawn the straight line, which is going to be the waistline. Now I'll go ahead now mark from the waist to the hip depth of this. I'm going to be using waist to hip depth 4 inch. You're just going to go ahead and follow the steps. Waist to crotch depth. Crotch depth is simply by dividing round hip by 4. Okay, whatever you have, if it is a free pan, you're going to add 1 inch to it. Crotch depth. Waist to knee line, and waist to the length of the pant. All right, so I'll go ahead and connect those points up with straight line, just like this, like this, like this, like this. Okay, now that I'm done doing so, the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead. I'm going to take round hip divided by 4. So whatever your round hip is, you're going to divide it by 4. So whatever I have here, I'm going to add round hip divided by 4. Remember, round hip divided by 4. I'll mark it here. I'm going to go ahead and mark it on the hip depth line. I'll connect it up like this with a straight line. That's my round hip divided by 4. Now the next thing I want to do is this part here. What I'm going to do is to come down by ½ inch. You can do 1 inch. I'm doing ½ inch, right? I'm going to go in by ½ inch. You can do 1 inch, okay? I came down by ½ inch. I went in by ½ inch. So assuming this is the 1 inch, you went in what? Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead now and connect it all the way to match at this point, like this. Then I'm going to bring this up to meet up here. You see what I've just done there, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and come here. To get a crotch extension is by dividing 1/4 of the hip, okay? So whatever 1/4 of the hip is, you're going to go ahead and divide it by 4. So whatever I have, I'm going to just go ahead and extend it up. Whatever yours is, go ahead and extend it up. 1/4 of the hip divided by 4. I'm going to have to use this, but the small tiny part of it. Right? Making sure that it's not too curvy. You don't want to make it too curvy. See what I have there? Not too curvy, not too deep. Now that we are done with this part, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here like this. I'll put 1/4 of the waist, 1/4 of my waist measurement. I'll mark that up. Then I'll be adding up my let's just say ½ inch for my dart allowance. Go ahead and use whatever your dart allowance is. Mark your dart allowance for that point. It's up to you, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and connect these points up. Just follow up whatever I'm doing here and mark and do that to your big pattern. So I'm going to have to go ahead and measure up whatever I have here. Normally, what I normally do is to take the nipple to nipple divided by 2, okay? To get the center line is by taking nipple to nipple divided by 2. So for example, if my nipple to nipple is 3 divided by 2, it's going to give me 1.5. But normally For my big part, my nipple to nipple is 7 inch. Now that I am done connecting with that point, I'm going to go down here by at least, remember it's always 2 inch from the hip depth. So I'm going to do, I always do for my bigger pattern, I always do 5 inch, 5.5 inch. For the back I do 6 inch, 6.5 inch. Okay, so I'm going to go down here, then I will mark that my 0.25 both sides. Remember I added just half inch, so I'm going to be marking 0.25. Normally for the darts you always do half inch both sides, making it 1 inch. But for this tutorial I'm doing 0.25, making it half inch. So I am done with that part. The next thing I want to do is to go ahead now. I'm going to be connecting this line up here with a straight line like this. Now that I am done doing so, the next thing we're going to do is to go ahead. This is the knee line, right? And we don't have the lap line yet. To get the lap line is normally 3 inch below your crotch depth line. But for this tutorial, I'm going to be doing just what I have there is 2.5. I'm going to be doing 1. I'm going to be doing 1 inch. Normally, like I said, normally is 3 inch. Okay, 3 inch below your crotch depth line. So on this line, what you're going to do is to take the crotch depth, the lap line, divide it by 2. All right, you can divide it by 2. Yeah, normally divide it by 2, or you divide it by 4, meaning that you'll be adding. If you divide it by 4, meaning that, for example, if it is 7 divided by 2, it's going to give me 3.5. 3.5 divided by 2, whatever I have, I'll be marking a 1/4 inch here, a 1/4 inch here. So for example, what I'm going to be using for this point, I'm going to be dividing mine into 2. So what I'm going to do, if mine is 8 or 9 inch, I'm just going to come here like this and mark that point up. Then now I will meet up this point, but I'm not going to meet it up right away. I'll come on the knee line. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the round knee, divide it by 2. Okay, for example, if my round knee is 4 inch, divide it by 2. Okay, I will mark that point up here. I'll come here on the length. I'll take the round ankle divided by 2. I will mark that up, and I'm going to come here and I will do the same thing. So now this is where I'm going to be connecting my points to meet up like this. Yeah, sorry, you want to avoid it from having any kind of funny curve around there, right? Look at the way I'm doing it. Then at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here like this and connect these points up. Then I will go ahead and take it all the way to the hip depth line. This is what I have. Can you see that, right? Now, let's go ahead now and cut this up. And remember that the crotch of the back is always, longer than the one of the front. For example, if the one of the front, the crotch extension, if the one of the front is 2 inch, the one of the back is going to be at least 3 inch, no, 3.5 inch. You add 1.5 inch to it. So I'm just cutting this up like this. And then the back, you always lift it up. Alright, the back, normally I'm supposed to leave this up, but let me use another thing so we can go ahead, because I'll be using just this one to demonstrate. So remember the front, I did went down by half inch, but for the back, depending on how, because of your bum bum, for a smaller size for me, that is size, the waist of 28 and hip of 38, I always do 1.5 inch, but for this tutorial, I'm going to be doing 1 inch. If you're that person that is that hippie, you go ahead and do 2 inch. Okay, so this is the back. Remember that the back, you're supposed to go ahead and extend that point up. Extend this by 1 inch and also extend this part up here by 1.5 inch. I'm just going to go ahead and cut it. Let's focus on the pan which we want to create today. Right, I already have a tutorial on my channel on how to create a perfect pants pattern. So this is what we have. Okay, this is what I have now. For this tutorial, what I'm going to do is I'll not be needing this part because it's just a demonstration. This is when you have drafted all your pattern. Go ahead and open this up like this. After which you open this up, you open it up right to the center, like you can see me do right here. So once we have done opening it up, this is my paper. It's quite very transparent. That's why I was putting on something. Let me see. When I get this book, so we make a page there. So I guess this one is visible enough, right? Is it visible enough? It's still, yeah, it's visible enough. Okay, guys. I just went ahead and blocked that off. But I'm trying to see if it is visible enough. Yeah. Okay, so sorry about that. All right. Okay, so sorry about that. You like it? Okay, so this is what we're going to be using. We're not going to be using this one because the table and this paper is almost the same thing. Now, when you want to make up this skirt, this pants, this bot pants, you're simply going to, oh, this is short. Okay, we're going to do it this way. We're going to do it this way. Now, let's just say I'm going to go ahead and mark the center of this my paper that I have here so that you really understand. Let me measure it up. I'll just measure it up. What I have is about 11 inch. 11 divided by 2 is going to give me 5.5. I'll go ahead now, connect it up with the straight line all the way straight downward. Okay, now that I have connected it up all the way straight downward, so what I'm going to do at this point, I'm going to go ahead and mark at least 2 inch and 2 inch. You can do up to 4 inch, okay? 4 inch. I'm doing to 2 inch. So I'm gonna pick up the front. I will glue it here, just like this. I'm always looking for things, yeah. So this one is okay, yeah. So I'm gonna have to go ahead now and just bring it up here, like this. This one will not be working too well. Use whatever you have to bring that up. I don't know where the other one is. Okay, this is what I have. I'm just gonna come here, that point of 2 inch that I mark, I'm just gonna go ahead and glue it all the way straight. Like this. Like this, I'm gonna go up, so ahead and gum it up. Now I have to do the same thing for this other side. This thing is almost like it's not really working too well now. It's been a long time I used it. So I'm going to go ahead now and glue this other side from that 2 inch which we mark. Like this. Remember, here you can do 3 inch, 4 inch is up to you. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect a straight line from here to meet up the other part. Like this. And I'll be cutting that up. connect it up like that. Just go ahead and cut it up like this. So we have something like this, right? Now, what we're going to do, you have to fold this inward to mix up this other part. So I'm just going to have to bring this part up like this to bring it up to this center line that I've just this. That is quite stiff, right? So I'm bringing it up. My paper is very, very stiff. Okay. To make up that line, then you also bring this part up to make up the center line. You use a paper that is quite very soft. I will have used this one because it's easy to work with, but it is too just like the table. So I'm gonna also bring this up here. The idea is to bring it up to mash it up together here. Right. It's not really glowing too well. It's old. Okay, just like this. So for you now to bring them up together, it's like you're gonna add the waistband to it. The back of it. This is how you have to push it. The inside, right? Remember, you're only doing this to the front piece, not the back piece. See the way it look? Then let me cut off a small waistband, add it up to this, and we are ready to go. Just like a small. Can you see that? You see that this is the box of the fabric. The paper I use is kind of very, very thick. Okay, so this is just it. So I hope you find it helpful. If you do, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, comment, and share. You see the back of it. Normally you have to stitch here like this and end about 4 inches, and this part will be open. So I hope you find this tutorial helpful. If you do, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, comment, and share. I hope to see you some other time. And when you're using a pattern, make sure that you use something that is very, very easy to work with, not too stiff like this one. Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye. That's just all for today. Oral for today. Bye. Hi. Bye. Okay.